Hello, happy Wednesday. I have already done my main post for this week. I recorded a video on Saturday and shared it on Monday, which you may have watched already, which was the incredible session with that butterfly being on Sirius A that gave all of the details about the plasma that connects us all and the vegetables that we need to be eating. And then I posted the video yesterday of that incredible session that I conducted this week on Monday night, where that client gives some very, very excellent information on the ascension of planet Earth. And I asked her if I would be able to share that one, because the way she describes how everything is going to happen was just so wonderfully perfect that I felt that it would be a really great video for people to be able to show their friends and family that are waking up. She used some great analogies in there about how the whole ascension will work. There is a couple of things that I would like to respond to in terms of questions that people have asked me about that video. One of the things that people have mentioned that they were a little bit concerned about was when she says, do not get lost. What she means by that is the world out there at the moment right now is so crazy because 3D is literally crashing down. The matrix is crashing down. For the first time ever, our reality is crumbling because we're realizing that what we thought was reality actually isn't. We didn't realize that this darkness was on the planet. Now it's being uncovered and exposed, and it's causing the two energies, now they are aware of each other, to repel, which is causing the carnage that we see happening all over the world. So when she said don't get lost, what she means is don't allow your own specific frequency, which is of higher vibration, you are awake and aware on planet Earth at the time of the Great Shift. Don't allow your own personal frequency to get pulled into the craziness and the carnage that's going on the planet, and thereby making your personal frequency dip. Because then you're hooking your energy, you're hooking your awareness and your energy into the part of our construct which is falling away. And we don't want to be doing that right now. We want to be focusing on love, unity, and the new world that we are going to build here when the density falls away. So there was a couple of incredible analogies that she used in that video to describe what's going on and what is going to happen in terms of the shift on Earth. And just for those of you that weren't aware, that particular client has a part of herself that is incarnated on one of the ships in the Galactic Federation of Light. So that session that we saw, that I posted yesterday, was of her channeling her other part of herself that's on the ships as a member of the Galactic Federation of Light. And what you didn't see in that video is, because this was the private part where we answered all of her personal questions, we actually went up to the ships and we had like a bit of a tour of one of the ships that provides healing. So that was pretty cool. But one of the analogies that she uses to describe what's happening on the planet is the example, if you will, of a pot of emulsion. And that is perfect to describe what's going on the planet at the moment. Before we knew what was going on this planet, we were a perfectly mixed pot of emulsion that had both the light and the dark mixed together, so that we looked like one thing, and we weren't able to discern which was the light and which was the dark, because we were all mixed together in this emulsion. But what's been happening with this light that's been coming into the planet, these big waves of light from Alcyone that has been triggering our DNA and waking people up, that light has been encouraging the emulsion to notice that it is emulsion, and for the water, which are the dark ones, service to self, to go one way, and for the oil, which is the love, the light, the service to others, to go the other way and to separate, so that emulsion is no longer one entity that cannot discern itself from light and dark. It has now separated into two very different, very specific energies. And if you look around the planet right now, you can see that clearly with your own eyes. Wherever you go, there is polarized light and polarized dark. And that is exactly what is happening. It's this unique point in time where we are right now, where there is the potentiality for the two types of energy to split and to continue on their polarized path. So where we were before as an emulsion, we're now separating. Love is going one way and the lower energies are going the other way, or service to others, service to self. So now this amazing analogy that she used in that session that I posted yesterday is that water and the oil from that emulsion is separating, and you can see the water underneath and you can see the oil floating on top. The other amazing analogy that she used was the analogy of the bunched up pair of socks. You've got a pair of socks, and when you're sorting the ironing, of which I seem to do every single day, you bunch the socks up into a pair, roll them up. And how she explains this shift to New Earth. We're not going anywhere. We're not going to another planet. So when she mentions the ships, I know many people get concerned about the ships, and even I do, because I've watched Jupiter Ascending and I've seen all of that malarkey and getting you to go on the ships. So as soon as anybody mentions ships to me, my insides start to clench, and I'm thinking, you're not getting me on any ship, even though part of me is already on a ship somewhere. Oh, the conditioning, it's tough. So what she was trying to explain is, once the two energies have polarized, the dark and the light, the oil and the water, service to self, service to others, whatever, once they've polarized, those two socks will unravel. Again, it's like the analogy that I used of the spider shedding its skin. Once you've got all your ducks in a row on this side, and once you've got all your ducks in a row on that side, and I'm sorry, this is a very British, it's a Derbyshire phrase, getting your ducks in a row. Nobody's going to understand what I'm talking about here. Stick with me. But you've got all your ducks in a row on Team Dark, you've got all your ducks in a row, Team Light. Once that has occurred, boom, the energetic split occurs, because everybody is where they're supposed to be. What we're in right now at the moment is that chemical reaction, if you will, of the splitting of the water and the oil that's in the emulsion. And that is necessary because everybody has to polarize in order to pick a side or a place or an energy, however you choose to phrase it or explain it. They have to pick where they want to be so the split can then occur. And this election that's happening in America in November is catalytically igniting everybody within them to look within themselves and decide what it is that they believe in, and to choose where they polarize. Now, what she explains in the video that I posted yesterday is that November is the beginning, basically, of the process of the actual split. And from November onwards, then it is a process that we go through in terms of the two energies then beginning to split. But that process begins in November. So it looks like we're heading to some really, really interesting times, and we're in it right now. We are literally in the point in time where everybody's getting into their position where they need to be for this split to occur. And you're going to see it getting more and more crazy out there, because the energies need to polarize so strongly that they repel each other. And that's what causes the split to occur. That's what causes Alcyone to understand that we're ready and to emit that wave of love. That's what causes the earth to respond, and to then energetically at that point in time send that current around the earth, which effectively separates the two parts and then lets go of the denser part, which then actually falls into another universe. And how that works is, this is all to do with frequency and vibration. So those of us that are vibrating higher, we stay with the higher energy Gaia. And once we've rejected the lower energies, which are slightly pulling us down, and they descend into their own lower energy frequency universe, that then allows us to raise a little bit, because we've let go of the thing that's pulling us down in the water. You know, it's like, trying to think of something now, but say you've got like a cork, and you're pulling that cork down under the water. If you let go of it, it shoots up and it pops. So once we've let go of the density, once that split has occurred, that allows us to shoot up even higher as well. And what that means is we go into a different frequency band, the fifth dimensional frequency, which is already here on the planet. But once we've let go of the density of the lower energies, it will really allow us to fully embrace the fifth dimension. So we're not actually going anywhere. We're physically staying on the same planet, in the same place, but once we've let go of the density of the lower level energies that's shed like a spider shedding its skin, those of us that are left on the Gaia that is the higher dimensional Gaia, then what we see out there in our external reality changes because of what is inside of us, the ones that are still here. There's a very old program in the UK called Red Dwarf, and it's one of my favourite programs. I've always loved it. And there's a character on it called Legion in one of the episodes, and Legion is a combination of all of the consciousnesses of the people that are on that ship. And I always think of Legion when I'm trying to think about how New Earth will work, because what we see outside will change, because it is a direct reflection of what we hold inside, the ones of us that are left. So whatever we hold inside collectively, that's what we will see out there for those of us that are left after the shifting of the lower vibrations has happened. So if you've not already looked at that video that I posted yesterday, please do. It's really, really worth it. It's one of the most comprehensive explanations of what the shift actually is and how it's going to work. And the client has such a fantastic way of explaining it. She's just brilliant. So thank you very much to my wonderful client for allowing me to share that with everybody who is on Team Ascension right now. So that being said, what I wanted to mention today on the back of that is, you know, there has been a few people that are concerned about what she said about don't get lost. And I'll reiterate again, what she meant was, Do not allow yourself, as somebody who is aware of Ascension, aware of what's going on, aware that we need to keep our vibration high, aware that we're light workers and that's the reason why we've come. Do not allow yourself to get sucked into what's going on out there. That's everything that's crashing and burning. Because if you do, it will affect your vibration. It will take you off center. And you don't want that to happen. Right now, more than ever, you need to be centered. You need to be calm. Now, I had a couple of sessions today, 2 sessions today, and both sessions have mentioned this same thing. So I think that's a sign for me that I need to share it. And what they've mentioned is, now is the time that we've got to unhook from the chaos, and we have to polarize too. So not only is the darkness polarizing, not only is all of the crazy people getting crazier, but we've got to polarize too. And how do we do that? Joy. So I've been reminded twice by 2 different people at opposite sides of the world today that we all have to find our inner joy, our inner child, the things that make us feel happy and light and free. Session number 1 today, an excellent example of this. The first lifetime the client went into, she saw herself as a mantis being, not the humanoid type, but like an insect on Earth. And her entire existence as this mantis being was spent trying to hide, trying not to get eaten by the bigger creatures around her that wanted to eat her, hiding and just being quite fearful and hidden, but whilst still existing. And then the second lifetime that she saw, she was a little boy in a village in Africa, and she was surrounded by her family and her friends, and there was such a sense of community, and they were so happy, and they were dancing all of the time, and she was swinging her arms around in all of these different shapes, and she felt so free and so happy. This huge wave of emotion just came up, and she cried and cried and cried, because it had been such a long time since she had felt that sense of freedom. And we moved her to various different points during that life, and she, in one point, she was herding goats with her friends on the top of the mountain, and they were just happy as Larry, just with these goats, walking them from one side to another. And in another point in that lifetime, she was present at the birth of her son, and the feeling of sheer joy and gratitude and happiness that she felt in that lifetime was overwhelming. And when she passed, she had all of her family around her, and she loved them all so much, and they loved her all so much. And the lesson for that lifetime was she didn't have anything in this village. They had nothing. They had little, very rudimentary huts, and they had some goats, and that was it. But they had the most important thing of all. They had love, and they had each other. They had a sense of community, and it was the most fulfilling lifetime. And the message from the higher self was, compare those two. The lifetime of the mantis, where you're constantly in fear and you're hiding, and the lifetime of the little boy that was so carefree and so happy and so joyous. And what we are trying to tell you now as your higher self is, how you are acting right now is like the mantis. Fearful, hidden, fretful, worrying. But what you need to bring out of you now, within you, is the little boy that is full of joy. And that's the huge message that I have for you today. We are in quite a unique position in that we know what's truly going on right now. And with that comes great responsibility, and we understand the true weight of what is happening. But we must stay in joy, and do not feel guilty for feeling happy and being in joy at this time. The people that don't feel happy right now and who are in fear will eventually get to the place where we are now. Absolutely, no doubt. But right now, they're not at the same place that we are. So don't feel guilty for feeling happy. Don't feel guilty for being in joy. And the message that client number 1 was given today is every morning when you wake up, as soon as you wake up, think of the things that you feel grateful for, that bring you joy. And write down on a piece of paper one thing that you're going to do that day that will bring you joy, and make sure that you do it. So that is the message that I have for you guys today. And I'm going to read something that I transcribed literally live again from this session that I did, the AM session this morning. And so she says, if you were to turn off your devices, all of the overwhelm and anxiety that you feel goes away. Stop looking at things that steal your joy. It's so important to be in joy right now. And if you have lost that, get your joy back. Remember, the world is a magical place. Do not get involved and dragged into the destructive nature of the lower level energies. The best way to prepare for this ascension is to focus on being calm, to go within, not without, and to stay centered. Switch off your devices, listen to the birds, take off your shoes and socks, connect with nature. Spend time with animals, spend time with your loved ones. Remind yourself of all of the beautiful things that there are about being on this planet. The smell of flowers, the smell of freshly cut grass, all of the things that make you feel joy. And if you spend a period of time where you've switched yourself off from the devices that are constantly telling you about COVID-19, constantly telling you about the fight between this candidate and that candidate, if you switch your devices off and reconnect with what is real and the spirit of our planet, when you do switch those devices back on, all of it seems ludicrous, because it no longer has any power over you. You've reconnected to what is real, to what is true, and all of that that's going on out there, it does not have any power over you. So in the lead up to the next few weeks and months, remember, keep your joy. Remember, reconnect with what it is that makes you feel happy. Many of us have forgotten, and how sad is that? Myself included. You know, many things used to make me feel happy when I was a child, and I switched myself off from them because we have to survive in this crazy world. But if you used to enjoy drawing, start drawing again. If you enjoy arranging flowers, arrange flowers. If you enjoy gardening, garden. If you enjoy singing, sing. If you enjoy dancing and the way it feels to move your body, do it. Connect with that feeling of joy and then share it. I will see you guys next week. I've got so much more to share next week. So many incredible journeys. Profound insights from people's higher selves all over the world. So until I connect with you again, make sure, now more than ever, you keep vibrating high. Sending all of my love to each and every one of you little lights all over planet Earth right now. All eyes on planet Earth right now, from the entire universe. So let's make it count. See you next week. Bye.